And what happens is,
Right.
what happens is,
You're letting folks in?
he comes.
Somebody letting people in.
And that
Oh, maybe
conveyor
next
belt
time.
just pushes everything.
Which is
forward.
out, yeah.
We have it, I thought it was attached.
No, it's there.
Oh, we have it.
Yeah, no, it's ready. Part of the unloading.
Ready?
Recording in progress.
Take the whole back.
I don't know. Chris, where's your wife?
She was getting.
Who's got the tape?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Welcome, everybody, to our July 2025 meeting of EGPOA's Board of Directors. I'm Patrick Mel, President of the Board, and I ask our Secretary to call the roll.
Patrick,
Here,
Alana,
Here.
Earl,
be online, texted me. So I don't see him.
Our name.
Dan.
Here.
Thank you. I'm Gary. Leslie,
Here.
Joel,
Here.
Beverly,
Here.
Alex,
Here.
Zach.
Earl is on Zoom, he said.
We have a quorum.
Okay. First item is approval of our June 22nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Those are tab one of your board books, board members.
Excuse me,
Anybody have any-
I'm sorry to interrupt. Don't do the pledge.
No, we'll have member comments in just a second. Thanks. We'll have member comments in just a second. So first voting item is for our minutes. Can I get a motion or
I motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any recused? Any abstentions? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Okay, so now we'll go on to our member comments and questions. We'll start in the room. Anybody want to ask a question?
I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry, Peter, but I thought we always had to pledge.
No, we don't. We're not doing that anymore.
Can I ask why?
Sure.
I mean, I'm a veteran.
yeah.
It's very disrespectful.
Okay.
It takes no time at all. I
Sure.
don't know if you guys know me, but there's something wrong with that.
Okay.
I'm here 24 years and I think it was a short time we did it. It was brought up at a big meeting
Mhm.
and eventually it went back on.
Yeah,
How
we-
long does it take?
So we just addressed this last month.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, that's okay. Thanks for bringing it up. We're an HOA board, we're not a government. If you want to come and do the pledge, we have a flag here. Invite folks to come and do that before we start our meeting. That'd be fantastic. But for an HOA, we're here to manage the finances, manage the properties. We're just not gonna do it.
But we have the ability to do that.
Sure, come and do it in the morning.
And no,
Come and do it
you
before
know,
me.
you guys.
Respectfully, sir.
Don't respect, and that's
Okay,
wrong.
it's not disrespect.
I apologize. I apologize.
Wait, what's the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
All right.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the nerve you see.
I didn't know you-
And that political statement, folks, congratulations, that's why we're not doing it anymore. It's just not the place for politics. Thank you all. We're gonna move on. Anybody have any member comments or questions for the board about HOA matters?
Oh. Yeah, I have a question.
Yes. Hey, Mark.
Since you instituted speaking before the board has a meeting.
Yeah.
Most people always have nothing to say. Because we don't know what's going to be spoken about. So therefore, whether you do it or not, I just think it should be at the end of the meeting, because this way I know what's going on.
So this is, thanks, Mark. This is like the fourth time we're addressing that point, which is that we moved the member comments to the beginning of the meeting so that folks could look at the agenda and give board members their thoughts and opinions on what's on the agenda. Because otherwise, if you have it at the end of the meeting, board's already voted on all those issues and people wouldn't have had the chance to speak up. So we thought it made more sense to move it to the beginning of the meeting so folks could have an opportunity.
Questions before the vote.
Well, you gotta have it in one place or the other.
I hear what people have to say. I could be coming up with
Right,
comments that you don't want to address because we
Look.
haven't spoken about it.
So if what you're suggesting is that we have member comments and questions before every board member vote, you don't need a board then, right? Like you have a board who's elected to act on your behalf. And members are here to observe and make sure the board is doing the right things. To have the comments and questions now, I think makes a lot of sense because folks can look at the agenda and tell us, hey, there's this entertaining roof replacement thing that's on the agenda. Can I ask a couple questions about that? What's that all about? Here's my thought on that before the board members vote. But we're not going to do it on every single voting item, or our meetings are going to go until 3 p.m. We're just not going to do it that way. We can do member comments at the beginning or at the end. So now we're, what, 10 minutes into our meeting, and we have spoken about everything about how the board works and the board meeting works. But, okay, any other questions from homeowners, members? Was that?
Jose, from 78 Club Lane. I just want to say first, thanks, for the work on the Greenway. I mean, it's really working out as far as when it comes to ATVs out there and all that stuff. I mean, we had one little incident not so long ago, but so far, we're doing good there. I had the opportunity, Nick, gave me that opportunity to take care of the Greenway, this weekend. So on Friday and Saturday, I was able to do a new trail as well to connect into, the old trail that are there, clean it up, everything. So, I just wanted to give you the update on that. It's like about 20 feet from the gate on the Lakeshore Drive East, that new setup. I took all the trees out and everything, and I think it looks great right now. But we still have garbage, the debris.
Right.
So I was here to ask the board if you guys could find it. I know there's some, money issues here and there sometimes, but if we could, for some pea gravel type stuff, maybe to fix some areas. Chris knows, he walked with me one time last year. And get a machine there to pick up the garbage, because there's really no way you can do that by hand, even with volunteers.
Do you think it's something we can budget for 2026, or is it something you want to?
I was hoping we could get it knocked out, because it's really 3 areas that need to be cleaned, debris, and we have a truck. So it's more just the excavator that come in,
Okay.
Nothing big, get an excavator there, pick up all the garbage, I'll be out there with them. I'll volunteer to, work with them on the weekend with that, and get it out of there. And then a couple of areas just have to be fixed that if we could use the pea gravel for, we'll get the truck, our truck, and dump it, and fix those areas that we have, some conditions and minor, rocky and everything, and they don't make it easy. I mean, on Saturday, it was a joy to see a runner, and he was running through there, and he was telling me him and a few others are now starting to run in there. So yeah, he actually brought it up too, keeping it the way it is, but if we could fix those 1 or 2 areas, and I said I was gonna bring that up to the board, so it would be nice if we do
Jose,
something like that.
we can use the cart path that was already there. I mean, I'm sure it's covered by Johnson now.
The path that that's what we've been maintaining.
No, that's the golf course.
Yeah.
There is, certain pathways there. I know they're there.
The backways with,
The
I
old
know,
golf,
the old, around the golf.
he's talking about.
well, I'm telling you what, I've been out there already numerous times. I haven't seen anything different from what we have right now, the paths that are there, that I'm, maintaining and everything, so. It's, a lot of it is overgrown, so it's possible that there's something there that I haven't seen. But what we have right now is nice, and it's all our property. It's not, homeowners, cause like one of those trails actually cuts through some property that's probably owned by somebody, one of the lots.
Don't we have a copy of the golf course? Where all the, if you look at that, you'll see all the,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we have to clean it up.
Well, point is, for now, what we have, I'm like, the gravel is cheap. With pea gravel is cheap, we get, 16, 20 tons for maybe $800 or something like that.
Let's do this. Let's have you, if you don't mind, just work with Nick to come up with sort of a proposal. That
I
then-
definitely, yeah.
And then the board can consider that. I think it's a great idea, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate all the work you've done and
Thank
the care you've shown for.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
and the other last thing is, because one of the ideas which I'll bring, because we're gonna try to set up the next couple of hikes coming up soon. Is possibly maybe get some benches and things like that, and blaze, name them, the paths and something like that, come up with some names and all that, and create a map. A nice map for the entire community to see on the
I think that
website
makes a lot of
for that
sense.
back area,
It's
yeah.
probably very mysterious to a lot of people.
Yeah, it is, trust me, the gentleman is a homeowner and he was lost on the trail, so I had to tell him where to get out and make another right so he could loop back around, because he wasn't familiar with this, so he
Great.
stopped.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, wait, just to answer Jose, yeah, we have about, almost $6,000 in the golf course. So we do have money, Jose, we do have money to take, lay out the gravel.
Say it again?
We have money for the gravel in the, lake, in the,
Golf course.
in the golf course reserve.
We did.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I figured is, we dump it here somewhere, it's 16 tons. And then we load it up and then.
Just come up with a proposal and pricing and then we'll.
No,
we'll work
no
it through.
problem.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mark Cantonin,
Hey, Mark.
how you doing? To just go along with the golf course area. I've seen in a lot of parks, they've got these frisbee golf things
Disc
set up
golf.
to
It's
play
called,
that around the parks. I think they're not that expensive to set up. That would be a nice other attraction for that to be there. They seem to have tournaments and everything in the parks for this.
Mark, we can run that through events, because if it's
Through
low
event.
cost, I could kind of purchase those things.
I just.
Right.
And also just, this is something that I actually know something about, I would just, we can talk about that and consider it. I would just. Consider that there is like a whole kind of subculture of disc golfers, and that is I love that, I enjoy playing it myself. My brother-in-law is hugely into this. It's the kind of thing that is likely to draw non-members to want to use that property. So, and also it's something where the nature of Frisbee is that some people are better at throwing it than others, and then there are, just keep in mind, there are member properties that border along the entire length of that. That's the kind of thing that's likely to disturb members who own property along that. So I'm not saying no, I'm just saying there are some other considerations in play that we would want to think through.
That's just one idea that I had, because I've seen them in
Yeah,
different.
they're really cool. They're super cool, they don't cost that much.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, I believe in another meeting that we had, that we were discussing, a letter going out to the community that would actually have the correct sheriff's number to call if we see people speeding past the pools. You know what it is, it's confusing because you got state troopers, you got a sheriff. And you know what, when you see something, you're supposed to say something, and instead of me getting out there in front of them and saying something, I'd like to have the correct number to call to say, hey, please show up over here. And the fact that you first have to figure out whether or not it's the sheriff or someone else to call, it's confusing. And things happen real quick,
Right.
so you kind of wanna make that phone call quick.
So I'm gonna give you the phone number, so it'll be on the recording for today. It's 845-794-7100. That's the sheriff's office. in
But
Delaware
rather than
County.
call the sheriff, call the town of Thompson, the highway department. The sheriff says something, what are they gonna do? They have to catch the guy speeding.
They'll
The
come,
biggest problem, one second, Ben. Biggest problem we have, okay, is that we have a sign that says 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour is no big deal if you're on a regular street. But 30 miles an hour, when you're walking your dog, it feels like somebody went by you at 50.
That's right.
And where I live, that's a tough corner right there. And then sooner or later, now we got people there living with little kids. And I saw a little kid the other day just run away from his dad, run out to the street. I told Billy myself, Billy, you got, even if you slow it down to 25 miles an hour, you know, but that's who you gotta call. The sheriff department is really,
Besides that, we can actually put up, why can't we just put up a sign that says 10 miles an hour and 10
we
miles?
can't. You
Why?
can't.
So
That's
you
bad.
Even if it's on our property, so that they store it on Emerald Road
Okay,
property.
that,
The only problem with that is we're not the government, we cannot reduce the speed limit on a town road.
Beverly, can you
Well,
read
you
the
can
number
put
one
one,
more time?
is, children at play.
right,
Still
that's
gas place,
right,
still-
slow down.
Sheriff,
794-70.
Because at Club Lane, you guys know, we had a lot of children for years. A lot of them knows that, those kids growing up there. I put up a sign and Rich has said to me one day when he came by, you can't have the sign out. That's up to us. We do that. And the town did, Rich came in and he put something up, and then he even went a step further when, we all mentioned it to him. And he put up bus stop signs, he did everything on that block for us. Because we were putting up signs and cones and all that, I even put I bought it myself, one of the barriers, you know, the bumps, and that was illegal for me to have. So Rich actually stepped in, so I'm adding to Alex, it's true, they will come in if we call enough, you know, homeowners, and they will change everything for us, cause he did.
That's what you need to focus, the
So-
highway department.
So
I wanna
that's
keep us
correct,
moving along.
that's correct, but I just want you to know, you can also call the sheriff's office.
Yes.
But there are enough of you that call, they
Yeah.
will come and sit and monitor the road. So you just have to, it has to be more than one person calling.
I spoke to
You
Eric.
can't change the root cause of the problem until you fix the.
I spoke to Eric and Mike, I was with them on lunch a few weeks ago, and it came up, cause I was talking about ATVs, and we talked about speeding. He actually put one of the digital things out, and they were, you know, checking, and he said, when they monitored it, yeah, they were clocking 40s and 50s, and it turned out to be mostly homeowners from Emerald Green and Lake Louise.
I know sooner or later, at the corner of my house, it's gonna be.
Guys, I wanna get us back on track, so back to the HOA business, that's road enforcement, thank you. Any other questions?
I lived up on Lake Muscadet in Roscoe, and we had a weed machine once a year go into the water and clean out the lake. It worked absolutely phenomenal. Volunteers from the community, from our association up there, had the weed machine. It went in, in fact, somebody actually built it from up there, and it's at least up there for the last 20 years. And all they do is they trailer it in, they put it in, he does his thing, he goes around the lake, they put it back on the trailer, it's out, they take all the seaweed that they have, and they bring it into a compost area. That's what they did up there, it could also be burned. And I just wanted to bring up that is a very good solution to having the weeds cut all around the lake. And it's only once a season, you pretty much, you know, that they do it. And it really didn't affect anything. The bass, I was on the Lakes Committee up there, I'm on the Lakes Committee here. It did not affect anything in that water, at all. And it just kept the lake clear of all kinds of weeds and lily pads and all of that. So I'm hoping that this community gets one of those machines and works on the lakes that way. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Mark, and that is, as you probably know, on our agenda today, Joel's gonna present, exactly that. We have an obvious problem, and Joel's really worked hard to come up with a solution, so we're gonna
Okay.
try to tackle that.
Super.
Sam,
Okay, just going back onto that thing, onto that comment. With the machine, we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah.
And you're gonna vote on that today?
Mhm.
Okay, now, are we talking about buying the machine? Are we talking about renting the machine? What are we talking?
we're talking about, both. Joel's gonna lay out both options, and we'll see what board members feel. I think the recommendation is gonna be to buy it, and we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, because then later on, we can make a comment, right?
No, I understand. Joel will explain it. Okay, other questions, comments?
Oh, I have a question about the entertainment, for. Said something.
Lee, I see your hand up online, by the way, and we'll get to you. we have some comments in the room. Thanks.
Okay, for the entertainment.
Yes,
Maine. The money that we use, like we also have yoga, we have, water aerobics, all that
Yes,
comes out of entertainment,
that all comes out of the activities budget,
of activities budget.
yes,
Okay, do we have much money to leave in that?
40,000.
40,000? Is there a way we can get that into another budget so we can have more activities?
In
Because
the
it's really
budget,
not an activity, I mean, it's not a fun activity for everybody, because I'd love to have some more parties, I'd love to go in that activity.
join the
so
events
there's,
committee.
yeah, I didn't say there's just so the activities budget is reviewed every fall as part of the budget season. So when we approve the member budget, or when we propose the member budget to the community in October, November, the activities budget is always something we've discussed. It's been 40,000 for a few years now, as we've tried to kind of impose some fiscal discipline. You know, we divide that budget between, that budget covers all of the exercise classes, fitness classes that we run, it covers fireworks and it covers all of the other activities that we do. So I think for you as a member, the way to have input with that would be to reach out to Alana and me who coordinate the committee, and also to provide your member input when we get to budget season in the fall.
Okay, other questions in the room, and then we're gonna go online.
Just a comment, there's 4 spots that are opening up for this August election. So, you know, if you feel like, however you feel about it, you know, just put in your resume and run for the board.
Who's leaving?
There's 4 spots, that Patrick is one of them.
Yep. I
Earl,
intend to rerun, just so everybody knows.
yes, Earl,
Tom Kemp.
Tom Gantz,
And
and I think Zach.
Yep.
So there's 4 spots that will be, you know, open officially, whether it's for rerunning or, you know.
Everybody.
And Leslie, what are each of their positions, other than, of course, the president?
Well, oh, for the current ones,
I mean, what is actually their role supposed to be?
The officers change with each annual meeting.
Secretary.
All
well,
of us are just members of the board. The officers are elected by the board at the conclusion or after the election.
Yes.
You're not elected as an officer. The board selects its own officers every year.
So the people that run do not know what they will have.
but, yeah, because the board will have a reorganizational meeting after the annual meeting. And there they will elect who they want in their top, positions.
So right after the.
So your question is if you're gonna run, you come up and say, hey, I have interest to do this job.
Right.
Well, if you wanna be president, I'm sure you will.
Most thankful job in the world.
Again, as president.
All right, anybody else in the room? Questions, comments? All right, we're gonna go online. Leah, I saw your hand. Yeah, Leah, I saw your hand was up. She's got unmute. We got, can't hear you yet.
Okay, I think I unmuted it. Yeah, I have technical difficulties here all the time. I have a comment about the issue that you just discussed earlier about when members can speak. And the method that we use in my other community that seems to work well is that before you vote, because I understood your issue about wanting to know what people say before you vote, that before the board votes on any motion, the members have the chance to speak at that point on that issue only, so that you get the ideas from the community before you actually vote. And then there's a period which you could do when the way you do now, before or after, to just ask questions on any topic. But when it's on a motion, they get to speak before you vote, only on that motion.
I hear,
And it works.
I hear you, but that is gonna extend, we're now nearly 30 minutes into our meeting, where we have just had an open member comment period. To do that for every voting item, I'm convinced is gonna extend our meeting to a place where I don't think more wants to go. I hear you though, I hear you.
Except that now I see what you're going to have motions on today, but
Yeah.
I can't formulate my questions until I hear what you're actually saying. And then a question comes to me. So I would like to bring up my opinion on that, because now I understand what I'm talking.
I know, but that's why we elect, I got you.
Yeah, well,
All right.
but it, you know, that way you get to hear what the community wants before you vote.
Okay,
Anyway.
anybody else? Thank you, Lee.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments online? Please use the raise hand feature. Anybody else? Okay. All right, hearing none, thank you, folks.
Oh,
yes,
question.
Oh, yeah.
I really do agree with her, and I think you really cut her off, and I think that does so good.
I'm not trying to cut her off. We've heard this. This is now the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th meeting where somebody's raised the issue one way or the other. Respectfully, folks, we have a board meeting to run. I'm not gonna pause every time we have a voting item so that we can open it up for community questions. Otherwise, what's the point of having a board? If everybody's just gonna have the ability to have, you know, input at every single moment, right? We have to be able to run our meetings efficiently. That's what I'm here to do. right?
But-
I'm
but
just trying
your
to,
vote-
I'm just trying to.
want your
get-
votes to reflect what the people want.
I agree, but we also have to run the meeting efficiently. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'll
Okay,
also just say that, you know, this board has been more accessible to member input than any previous board. We have not only the minutes that are posted, but we also have the full video transcripts of meetings that are posted on YouTube for you to watch at your leisure. You have the email contact information of every single member of this board, and I would say, you know, and the agenda was sent out by Nick on Friday, I believe. I do not have a single email in my inbox with member follow-up or questions from the previous meeting, and I did not receive a single email asking questions about the agenda for this meeting. So for those of you who want to provide input and tell us what you're thinking, those avenues for communication are open and there, and those aren't being utilized. There's a specific ask here to kind of have more member input in the meetings themselves, but, you know, to be frank, members are not using those other tools for communication, and those are available and ready. And in addition to that, we also have the committee structure, which is another way for members to provide, and actually the chief way for members to provide their input on pending business and developing agendas. Most of the stuff that we vote on typically goes through some kind of committee before it gets to the full board. That's not necessarily the case with every item today, but that's the place for members to provide their input onto pending proposals.
okay,
Or run for the board.
all right. Anybody else online? Or in the room? Okay, we're gonna move on, board members, to item C on our agenda, which is the management and maintenance report.
Absolutely. Yes.
Nick, general update from you, and then we're gonna go through our several voting items that we have.
Sure thing. General update, we are running pretty well. We did, have a resignation in our buildings and grounds, department, Anthony Varela, Junior, as he's known. Last day was, Friday. In the interim, we are filling the position with our part-time and seasonal staff, with, Nathan and Nathan, the two Nates, as we call them. And also, we brought on, as, Jose alluded to, Jose has been helping us out, at least with respect to the Greenway currently. So we're covering, the basis there, and keeping, things running smoothly. The pool, we had our inspection by the New York State Health Department on the pool. No violations were found, only, asked by them was to include, the location of the emergency phone on our new signage, which was done while they were here. So all is good there. Haven't had any new complaints or concerns about the pool other than keeping the temperature regulated a little bit better, which we've done. I don't think there's been any new complaints regarding that. Docks are all up in full service now. We're waiting on some hardware to come, and that's been resolved. Joel, we have some stocking coming up, I think.
Yes.
You have some stocking Wednesday?
This Wednesday, we're having big fish delivered.
Great. You know, what's the composition of that? You know, where and what?
So there we'll be dropping fish in at the boat launch at the pool, and there's also a boat launch at, Treasure Lake pool, putting them in there. I just have to make sure that the weed area is cleared a little bit over there.
You don't want them getting tangled up in the weeds.
No.
Obviously, we're gonna talk about the machine and the weeds and the dam projects as we go through. Otherwise, everything is running pretty smoothly at the moment. And we will be talking, in the coming weeks about a replacement, in the buildings and grounds. I temporarily briefed the HR committee on, a potential solution for that situation. But at the moment, we're just in a holding position as we're waiting for someone's availability for the backfill of that, so.
Board member question, Nick, go ahead, please.
Yeah, do you want to go first? You can go first.
No, it's all right, go ahead.
It's okay, go ahead.
Okay, I have been reached out to a lot by the community regarding the clock. And
Clock at the
we
pool?
talked about it, yes.
Yes, so Anthony Manieri did order a larger clock that can be replaced. That one was not working, and then it got damaged in one of the windstorms, so it is
Okay.
on its way to us.
Okay, sorry, I
Yes, sir.
apologize too, because I know that we get a chance to submit concerns before, but just two things.
No worries.
One for the pool, the perimeter of the pool, like where the lip is or the edges is pretty dirty, so I'm not sure if we can clean that at all or.
Talking the
Well,
metal
the
area.
middle part, yeah. yep, that part. And then the other thing I wanted to know was about the gym, so we were supposed to maybe get mirrors up. And we also talked about maybe transitioning some of the like extra pieces of cardio equipment that we're not using so much.
Correct.
So that we can open up a little bit more space. And I also did receive a couple of suggestions from different homeowners about possibly adding so like fixed weighted barbells, there's like 35 pound, 45 pound, and maybe like a rack of those at some point if we have the opportunity in the future.
Sure, so just to touch briefly,
Yeah.
I'll follow up on the pool with
Yeah.
pool staff today. As far as the gym goes, we can go more offline on it, but we're waiting for the delivery of the new equipment, so we finalize the old equipment on the mirrors, but I'll get a check on that. The new equipment was held up because it's being shipped in, and shipping is a little bit of a challenge right now from overseas, but
All right.
I'll get with
Sounds
you
good.
on that and get you an
I
update.
have another pool complaint that I have from homeowners.
Sure.
In the morning and also in the afternoon, there's a lot of bird poop accumulation under the pavilion.
Under the-
There's a hose right there. It could just be hosed off.
Sure.
You know,
I think we have to find a better solution in
Yep.
general for under the pavilion and getting the birds out of there, because they do clean it, but it continues to happen, but we will.
Also by the
Maybe have it
beach, I don't
closed.
know if we get into. If we
Right.
get into the beach and right at the edges, there's always.
The goose, yeah, in the morning, yeah, okay. Beach
I think the bird poop under the roof, the only
is to
way
close
is to
that.
close it.
You put netting on.
But you could just put netting, yeah, the netting works
Oh, the
easy,
net, yes.
and a couple of,
Netting.
since, you know, the owls. Yeah. That's it. It works.
All right,
Sure.
Okay.
Shoot them.
you can't shoot them, but.
Other board member
Shoe
questions?
them, you said, right? Shoe them.
Shoot them.
Yeah.
Other board member questions for Nick? Alright, here now, let's go on to the entertainment roof replacement item. I'll let Nick present this, but just tee it up quickly that this is an item that's way over our threshold for approving either as an emergency or otherwise, so whatever we decide to do, if anything is approved at this level, it will have to be sent out for a full member vote, and so I'd like to, if we can, marshal that to our annual meeting in August, so that obviously we're just doing one vote, then make it a little bit more efficient if we can. So with that, the entertaining roof replacement, which I know we talked about last month, folks have had a chance to look at the proposals, ask questions, and have seen Nick's response in additional detail, including what was asked at the last meeting. So Nick, do you want to just sort of give a very quick overview and recommendation?
Sure, we've had continued leaks in the entertainium and the lobby, as well as the second floor. Water is infiltrating through the existing roof and the connections between the entertainium and the new buildings. The solution is a replacement of the existing EGPM roof with a new roof that should last us somewhere between hopefully 25 to 30 years. We will not have to do this again. We had 2 quotes from 5 contractors that we reached out to. 2 were responsive. 1 said they would come, did not. 1 did not respond at all. 1 back to the list here. 1 did not respond at all. 1 said they were going to come. 1 did not return the call. We've been through a number of emails on the subject. Can answer any more questions you have. I think I've covered them pretty much in depth. You have 2 proposals in front of you from 2 contractors that we've gotten bids from, came here and physically inspected and viewed the roof.
Okay. Any board member questions for Nick?
I have a question.
And I know, but we're just doing the board part now.
How old is the roof?
Or go ahead.
Great.
I don't know how old the roof is.
Even older.
It wasn't, the roof was not replaced during the renovation, Okay. If there are no board member questions for the proposals, is there a motion?
Can you phrase the motion and?
Somebody has to
Somebody has to
make
make
it phrase it. I'll make a motion that we engage the contractor that Nick suggests to replace the roof, and then basically once we approve it, to put it out to our board members, our community members, to approve that partial, we need to get that part sooner or later.
And I'll second you recommend
DMR
I
construction.
second.
at a price of 117,300, correct? And that price, they
Correct.
guarantee that's gonna hold through April.
20th, correct, and there is also, just so we're clear, with both contractors, there is a footnote that any bad plywood that would need to be replaced, there is a price of $80 per sheet for DMR.
And we can pay for that out of a regular board vote, because that wouldn't exceed the number. The board can approve
Up
those.
to 1700.
Right, well, this is a situation though where they may be working and have to do this work.
So wanna just make it 125?
Let's make it more, let's make it 130, and then,
How many sheets of plywood are up on the?
You won't know until you,
no, until you get
until
there.
you remove the,
Okay, I was wondering if
But-
maybe any of them said something about that while they were up there, because they have the square footage.
Did anybody,
figure it out.
did they kind of have an indication?
Give you a packet, y'all.
You know, the size
Full-
of the sheet of
Beverly, I
plywood.
think he's got an indication.
Sorry.
One second.
no, they're standard sizes.
Yeah.
For the plywood, for my, yes.
The problem is, once they take that roof off and they see the plywood's bad, you have to replace it.
I know that.
Hey guys, just pause for a moment. Be 1 second.
Can I just make one comment?
Yes.
Just be aware of the asbestos.
We've thought that piece through, talked about it last month as well.
That's another 30 grand.
Hey, Patrick,
Yeah, Earl?
hey,
your
I
question?
do have one question.
Yeah,
Nick, is there gonna be some type of performance bond that's gonna hold whomever is selected accountable? Or can we, what insurances can we put in place that, I know we have a potential warranty, but to ensure that they get their work done and it's able to pass inspection?
So we can write the contract, Earl, where the retainage would be sufficient. We don't have a performance bond requirement. We're not a government, but I mean, we can ask that we can structure the agreement so it's such that they have a effective performance bond based on how we pay the draws. I mean, this is gonna be a fairly quick project. It's not gonna be, this roof is probably gonna come off and go back on in less than a week's time, so.
Dan, I see your hands. Sorry.
You froze on us, I think.
All right, well, he unfreezes. Dan, I see your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanna, again, address the health concerns, if there is any. Health concerns, I think that should be, front and center. I don't know that we physically addressed any concerns on that part yet, but if it comes up, I think that needs to put the project on hold, at least until we can figure out what health concerns we need to put in place to address it.
Are we talking about asbestos, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as with any project, we'll let the contractor guide us on that. Okay, so a motion has been made and seconded. Are there any other board member questions
What was the
or?
budget that you wanted to put to that motion? 130?
That was,
Okay, 135.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Are you okay with 135 as a motion? Are you okay, Leslie, you seconded, are you okay with, as a second, with 135?
Yes, 135? Yes.
Not to exceed 135.
Not to exceed. Oh. He's unfrozen and in the flesh. Harold.
That number you know.
Alright, so the motion has been made and seconded. Any other questions?
I request a roll call.
Okay, roll call having been requested. Secretary call vote.
One question before we do that.
Yep.
What bucket of money is this coming out of?
Is it construction?
Yeah.
I would think the construction.
I think it's
That's right,
capital,
yeah.
no?
It could be
That's our capital
Be
reserve.
careful.
What's the current cash balance?
Great question.
Can't pay for it.
Oh, it's in the negative.
Sorry, swallowing those. I almost said it.
Party. There you go.
Capital reserve.
We have $222,000 in there.
Okay, so to be fully funded for the capital reserve.
Be fully funded from the capital reserve. Alright, that having been made and seconded and a roll call requested. Ask the secretary to call the roll.
Patrick,
Yes.
Alana,
I'm gonna abstain.
Earl,
Come back to me, please.
Joel,
Yes.
I vote yes. Alex,
Yes.
Beverly,
I'm a no.
Leslie,
Yes.
Dan,
No,
okay. Let's see, Earl,
I abstain.
You abstain, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty close.
there are 5 board members in favor, 2 opposed, and to abstain. The motion passes to go from members for a vote.
Wow, but there, okay. Thanks, everybody. Next item is building code enforcement proposal. Anthony Maneri is gonna deserve the credit for coming up with this idea, and then Nick can sort of summarize it for the rest of us board members as tab 3 of your board book.
So folks, Anthony was gonna present this, but he's tied up this morning. What this is we do not currently have a mechanism in the event a homeowner or a contractor on behalf of a homeowner does work that effectively is a self-curing violation. So what that means is you cut down a tree, you do paving in your driveway, you seal coat your driveway, you do any kind of work that requires a permit, but that work is completed within 1 day, 2 days. And we don't have the ability to initiate a stop work order on you. The problem is we then don't have any kind of a penalty to violate you for having done work without a permit. It's becoming a problem. If you recall, several weeks ago, I sent an email out to everyone because we had 5 items of work taking place on the same day, and frequently it has to do with paving, seal coating, those types of things. I encountered someone directly opposite from the pool, actually saw cutting someone's driveway and prepping for driveway repairs without a permit. We are not in the business of violating homeowners because they do work without a permit, but we do need to know when homeowners are doing work to ensure that our building code is being followed and that all of the requirements that we have are being met, not working after hours, not working before hours, not working on Sundays, holidays, etc. Because we did bring in someone who has a home under construction and made them face serious consequences and make them enter into an agreement with us that they would not do it again, which has very serious penalties. So Anthony, because we do get a number of complaints throughout the day of homeowners doing work or their contractors doing work, put together a write-up, and we would like the ability to have an enforcement action if a homeowner does work without prior approval from the office. In many cases, we do not charge you for coming in, obtaining a permit to do this work. And in many cases, we turn around on these permits extremely quickly. There are homeowners in this room who have asked for permits. We've granted those permits, some cases less than 24 hours. Generally speaking, we turn around on them in 1 day. So this is a mechanism I feel that we need, Anthony feels that we need, because we need to be able to show that you cannot just do work without coming to us first. There are also cases in which you are required to obtain a building permit from the town of Thompson, and we advise you of that before you do this work, because they need to know what you're doing, because when you do things like saw cut a driveway, there is a potential that you may be encountering underground pipes such as water, sewer. We don't have natural gas here in Rock Hill, but you could have underground electric, fiber optic, which we don't have here yet, but these are real things. You have to call before you dig. There are a lot of occasions in which people dig up their front lawns to run drainage and they're not calling Dig Safe New York. It's something we've addressed on the water company side, and Dan can tell you more about that. So that's why we put this proposal in front of you. We are going to fine tune this a little, but we would like to start this process and we'd like to have this mechanism. I feel that there needs to also be a hearing process in case someone wants to come in because they feel they're aggrieved or they feel they didn't do something wrong.
Which by the bylaws they're entitled to, not to.
Correct. But I think we need to have a set day. It needs to be once a month. It needs to be structured. It needs to be a a small group of board members potentially, so it's not, you know, a chaotic process and almost like a traffic court, you know, this is the day, this is when you come. If you can come, you come, and if you don't, you don't. But I think we need to do this because I think it's important to start enforcing those rules and regulations, and as we go towards revamping our building code and looking at our violations, this is an interim measure for us to start, that process.
Earl,
I'm fine with it, but before we need to have a town hall, whereas all the residents can be brought abreast to those decisions and just some of the dynamics of what this new code is gonna be. So they're aware before we can hold them accountable, us accountable. We have to have a town hall meeting, so everybody can ask their open questions, there's clarity. I think for me, when I first moved here, I didn't realize literally 90% of anything I wanted to do was a free permit.
well, let's do this, if approved, we can just, address it at our
Okay,
meeting,
okay,
which should
okay.
be our most, hopefully, most attended gathering ever. Because this is a pretty narrow proposal to authorize an automatic fine of $250 for doing work without a permit. Period. That's just kind of the narrow lane that we're in. Dan, your hands up?
Yeah, we're using examples like saw cutting driveways and paving driveways, and I would agree with that. So are we saying examples that are grossly violating the permitting process, or something as simple as a member, you know, cutting down a bush and they didn't know that they needed a permit?
But
I don't think it requires any judgment about the intent, but.
Yeah, I know, Dan, I think it's any item that requires a permit per our rules is a violation, and I think we need to get to that level of strictness in order to start compliance.
And the permit process is pretty easy, and to Earl's earlier point that, you know, we can remind folks, at our annual meeting, if you're in doubt, just call the office. Super simple. Most of the work for which, you wanna check, either doesn't need a permit or gets the free permit. So it's not like a big deal. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Is our entire community on the email system? In the past, that's been a questionable and debatable thing. And since the past practice of this, it was an email notice to community and saying that it's an ongoing problem, maybe the communication part has been not helpful,
We can do we have about 905 emails.
which are more than the number of phones we have. And I know there's been a conversation in the past about going through that.
Yes, and we do weed through that as we go, so we could do a email notification and we should do a mailed notification because we have cut back on our mailings because we do not mail out statements like we used to do, only to those that request them, to save on the phone. But we can do a mail notification that this is the new procedure and remind folks that you do need to obtain a permit for any work done on the outside of your home. Listen, I think that in the long run, this will help folks to remember, call us first, and that's the intent. Always call us first, but I think we can do a mail notification, and maybe we do this so we implement and we start effective August 1st. So it's not like you vote today and tomorrow we're out, you know, violating.
Do we do this when we send the ballots out?
We don't
So
send
We don't send the ballots
Just
out anymore.
Everybody's on the email situation here.
That's what a lot of
Do
people.
we have a
That was kind of
lot of,
Yeah, I think the communication piece needs to be addressed first, because if you're gonna hold the community accountable, you have to make sure you're noticing that properly. And then furthermore, I mean, I've been in the office before, Valerie does an excellent job of telling you homeowners that every time they come into onboard, but they should be receiving a physical packet of information that also goes over that during closing. Because if you're gonna hold, like, if they're gonna get a fine, I know it might eliminate one problem, but you might have another problem on the other end.
When at closing, every homeowner signs an acknowledgement of the rules and regulations.
Right, but the physical.
That's up to them.
Yes.
You also acknowledge
We're talking about
when
giving
you get your
notice,
driver's
people not
license,
following
following
the
the traffic law.
just say something? I went to access the bylaws over vacation
Yeah.
and they weren't online. So if somebody, if you have, and your resources available to you, they go in and out, like sometimes they're up and sometimes they go off and they bounce out. So I just wanna make sure that everything is streamlined for the homeowner.
Well, Leslie, you're gonna.
That's why.
Hold on, Leslie's got
Yes,
the
I
floor.
agree.
When it comes to communications, everybody knows.
Our bylaws are on the prospective buyers page of the website.
I was on it
Okay.
over the weekend.
Hold on, Leslie has the floor. Leslie has the
Yeah,
floor.
everybody knows, from a 7-year-old to a 70-year-old, we all have Facebook. Maybe if we use our social media to our advantage, to just bombard them with communication like this. Also, do we have a bulletin board at the pool
Prospective buyers.
or here in the building that we can put some flyers out, put some Google Eyes or something to catch their attention? Anyone that comes to our buildings will get that information there. If they don't get, we'll use the flyers, Facebook, email, everything else, a banner in our website.
Yeah,
They're bound to get it.
I think she's spot on. I mean, I understand tech is tech and everyone's moving in technology space. I really agree with it, but I think it's our responsibility to meet our residents where they're at, not where we want them to be. So if we can look at various ways to increase visualness of that, create a building board in the pool house, create something here. This is just moving forward. No one's doing anything wrong. No one's trying to evade communication. I just think we now need to look in the mirror and say, how can we better improve that? And once we've done all those efforts, there's no ill intent, but I think it's a fair call out that we need to try to find ways to increase the visibility other than the technology that we assume everybody uses, because not everybody does.
I think it's also about just making sure it's clear what the violations are, so a simple Facebook post would be really easy,
Oh,
just
sure.
like a one-pager listing what the like what not to do kind of thing.
But what you need the permit for.
Right, perfect, yeah,
Well, you can put.
that's what I meant to
That's
say.
it.
You can put a larger, if you're gonna do a larger project in your home, or the very basic. And just say, and everything in between. All the office and.
I don't have a problem doing a Facebook, an email, and a mailing of. These are the rules, these are what you have to do, and this is the consequence if you don't do it. Call us first.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that also puts it out there, and we also can make this effective August 1. It doesn't have to be effective today. It gives us 10 days to implement it. It gives us time to get the notice out. It gives folks time to remember what's there. Yes.
Can we do a September one, since the annual meeting is in August and you're gonna
Yeah,
announce
that
it there?
makes sense. That makes.
Gives a little time to have even a town hall or of some sort. Is that a problem?
You guys can, I'm not, it's fine. It's gonna allow it to continue. That's it.
Yeah.
So maybe we bring this to a good.
Do we have a list of the people that do work? The
Contractors,
contractors?
it's so varied. I mean.
Yeah, and I would say.
Well-
Cause I do work on my house. We do work on my house.
Yeah.
We're just, well, kind of.
But you have situations where these guys should know, they've been here for years. So they shouldn't just, they're not the ones getting socked with $250.
Honestly, I think we would have more infractors of residents, of homeowners than you have. There are more.
Oh, no, I'm not
homeowners
saying,
infract, so
I'm not
I
saying.
would-
Are we voting on this?
There's no motion for it.
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah, there's no motion.
Can
You wanna make a motion?
Yeah,
like the meeting
yes.
to move along?
You can make them the date.
No, I would motion that it's an okay thing to do, so however it's worded, if somebody doesn't follow the. The suggested guidelines or what we're supposed to do,
Building code.
yeah, that,
So you're okay with making a
Yes.
motion?
yeah,
Begin August 1st or September 1st?
Come on, man, why do
It's just too split on first.
I-
Oh, the
I think we get-
September first.
Get more
Yeah,
consensus
I'm
around
meeting in the
that.
middle of
Yes.
summer, September first.
Okay,
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to clarify. I second.
Okay, thank you.
all in favor?
Aye. Yeah.
Any opposed? Any recusals?
Is that a
Any
motion?
abstention?
Yes.
Yeah, is that, Dan, you there?
You're muted, Dan.
Muted.
Was it a motion as written?
For September first.
To begin, enforcement to begin September first.
Okay,
Yeah.
hearing none, okay, the motion passes, thank you, folks. All right, we're gonna go to the Lake Dam weed service or equipment options. I'm gonna ask Joel to present this. Board members recognizing you just got this yesterday. It's tab 4 of your board books. Joel can walk us, I don't know, is Tom on or no? Joel's gonna be your sole responsible.
Yeah, would you be able to bring the YouTube video I sent you?
Okay.
You can fast punch that up so people can see it, that'd be great.
Which one?
Just the first, yeah, the weed machine.
Yeah.
Now, put it up there.
All right,
I
we're
checked it
gonna,
out.
So, okay, so thank you guys.
You're gonna operate it.
I
You
want
have
those
options
weeds
on.
out of those lakes.
You're gonna be
That
out there
looks
operating
nasty.
my house.
Okay, so, because we have major problems with our 2 lakes, with babies, everybody can see, just turn around, look out the window. The whole thing is covered with weeds. The problem there is that's covered with a weed that's called a water chestnut. And water chestnuts, the actual nut has a little
Cowheads, as we used to call them.
that's okay. And they have a little, basically what happens is any waterfowl goes in there, they have the ability to attach on to a waterfowl's feathers. And then when that waterfowl leaves this lake and goes to another lake,
Yeah, they spread it.
they'll spread it. So we have we don't have a problem as severe on Lake Louise, but we could. So we have to address this problem. Also, we have a dam issue on Davies that has to be repaired. We will not be able to repair that dam because you need to clean it out. That is per Tom, who does this for a living. We're going to have to apply for permits on Davies and on Treasure to do this with the DEC. We're in the process of doing that.
To clear the weeds?
Yes.
all right, while you're doing this, I'm gonna play a 3.5 minute video.
Can't touch it. Can't touch it. So he's, so like, I'm gonna bring it to the board, okay, that's the machine.
There's Joel on the machine.
That's not me on the machine. You know,
Yeah, it's a little number that you are.
no, that's what here. But that's the machine, it's an amazing thing, it literally goes in, where before you had it and it was cut, this literally pulls the weeds out and pulls it up onto this bunk. And once the machine is full, the machine comes alongside, you see there it is, hopefully they'll show you with weeds coming up on this thing, which they don't. Okay, but that's it, that's the process, and what you don't see is underwater, there's a rubber sponge, a rubber bar, there you go, that's what's happening. That's how it comes up.
That's cool.
Okay, and it can operate, we can control the depth of the cutters and everything. It'll also work on algae blooms and surface area. And this is the other, so you can see that thing on the bottom there, that's what's literally the traction, the basket and that rubber bar makes the traction and pulls it up. And what also happens is these weeds are so, the network of roots are so entwined that when you start pulling, you'll pull probably from 4 to 5 feet outside of the machine area to come in. And we have a ton of stuff here. Do you have a question?
A machine like that,
Mhm.
what does it run on?
It
Because
runs
we can't
on,
have motor.
so here's the deal. This machine runs on gas. It does. But there is nothing, wait, hear me out. What happens is this machine does run on gas, but there is no motors or anything in the water. It's a self-contained unit. And what's happening is what propels this machine is those paddles on the outside. That's where it's like a water wheel, if you will. And that's how it goes through. Alright. Okay,
So what's I haven't seen it, what's the motor mechanisms that
there's a Honda motor engine on it, and that connects the hydraulics. And those hydraulics literally drive these paddles.
if we ever wanted to, could we convert that motor at some point?
To
I don't know.
electric?
Electric,
I imagine you could, but I don't know what it costs.
good bank of,
No, you can't.
Huh?
It's too much, it draws too much power.
Okay, that's fine.
But I did the study a couple of years ago with Rich Brown, we told you.
Mhm.
And I went over to Monroe Lakes. They're completely covered all the time.
Mhm.
And I have a similar machine. I gave him the stuff, I don't know if you had it or not.
I don't have it. I think what I've heard from Rick is that this has been done once before
on Treasure Lake, but it was a different type of machine.
Yeah, also,
It was the same thing, the only difference is instead of the roller,
Right,
it was a blade.
right, so what was happening before, you were cutting the top and leaving the stalks.
Focus this back on how we're gonna get the
Okay.
board to either
So,
consider this or what.
I just have some questions.
you want me to do my presentation? Or you want me to-
Well, you-
Well, you prefer- go.
Present.
Okay, so what happened is that the guy was here, the vendor has been here twice, last Saturday he was here. Nick, Tom and I were there, we reviewed it, and as you see, the weeds have gotten much worse. The board has originally approved $25,000, that worked out to be about 10 days worth of work, he feels that it's gonna be at a minimum of 15. So basically, when you go up more days, it reduces the rate, so, 15 days, we can settle with $30,000. What I've also worked out with him is, because I knew that this process was gonna take time, but once we approved it, it's gonna have to go out to the community to get approved. We can hire him to do the work. And I got a rate from him of $1,000 a day, and part of the deal with buying this machine is that we'll own the machine, and if he comes to us and says, I have a job that I need to borrow the machine for 5 days, he would then rent the machine back from us for $1,000 a day.
That's him and the man, Joel, or just him for 1,000 a day?
That's just the machine.
Okay.
Nothing, all we're doing is renting the machine.
Oh, you said you got a rate from him for the operator for 1,000 a day?
No, so basically, his lowest rate, if you use them more than, it's like $1,800, so it'd be $1,000 for the machine and $800 for his time. So we could go ahead and basically use the machine, because I think what's gonna happen is the permit process is gonna be easier on Davies Lake than it will be on Treasure. Because I believe on Treasure, we're gonna have to put a notice into the paper to let people know that we're doing better.
So it's not easier, it's just longer.
Look, correct.
It's longer.
Correct, that's exactly right, thank you. So what we can do is, once we get the permit for Davies, we can have him come and start working on Davies. Now, the good thing is let's say, he spends, $15,000 on Davies, so what would happen is that $1,000 that he has, $1,000 per day, would come off the purchase price of the machine. So we're not losing out on the money that we're paying to this guy, so it's not a one-shot deal, we're done. So use $15,000 as an example, the purchase price of the machine originally was $55,000. Takes the 15,000, gives us a credit up against the 50.
Yeah, which we're gonna have to pay anyway.
Right, exactly.
And we have to get the work done, so I just have a question about the machine.
Sure.
Have you asked him like what maintenance and repairs of the machine has cost over the time?
Yes.
And what's the lifespan he's had the machine for, what's the life expectancy of the machine, all this kind of.
It's a serious piece of machinery, it only has 80 hours on it. He got the machine, he's an excavator. So he had one of his clients that were doing this work, and he said, can you do this for me? And he went on the machine and did it for him, and did other works, and the one that the guy owed $55,000, he took the machine in trade, and that's how we got it. So the machine has no hours, 80 hours is nothing to this. There is a belt that costs about $1,800 that he's putting on a new one that should last us 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a low cost compared to the cost of the machine, right? So
Yes.
every 3 years of maintenance of that, just something we wanna think
And also-
about, that's not too much.
Right, also what happens is that there are like 100 grease fittings on this machine. So Nick, I don't know what type of grease gun we have, but we might wanna get a heavy grease gun to grease this machine.
Sorry, were you?
I'm done, no, those are the only questions I have.
So we can basically go ahead, and once we get the permit for Davies, we can say, okay, we want you to work 10 days on Davies or
Gotcha.
5 days on Davies, see how this thing works. And then go from there, so we can approve it and, put everything in place, but whatever we do today, we're still gonna have to go to the community to get approval for it. Carol, what do you got?
Wait, hang on, I want to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sure.
Is the permitting process for both lakes, I know that Earl mentioned a length of time, is it, would we not receive this permit for any reason? Like, we're gonna buy the equipment, is it a straightforward process of just asking?
So it is fairly straightforward for asking. The only thing they may do is they may limit the size of how much you can take out. And that would be more so for Treasure than Davies. We did not, and we have not.
Gentlemen, guys, Mitch, it's.
We have not asked for any permits either for Lake Louise Marie, which we would also be entitled to if we wanted to for areas there. The only thing is they may limit the scope and size for treasure. Because there is some protected species of plant and wildlife and treasure, so that's the only thing there. Davies should not be any problem for permitting.
Okay, so then.
Before your questions, everybody okay with 55 and then the renting back and all that stuff?
I want to have my question first, actually, before I get to that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
this is for planning, for future planning. Who rides this machine and how often are we running it? Because that's gonna be a cost that we're gonna have to incur later.
Basically, it would be our internal grounds people that are running, because it's not a hard machine to operate. So we'd be able to do that.
And are we maintaining all these 100 gears of whatever, so whoever our.
It's a grease fitting, it's
Grease fit.
I was wondering.
yeah, it's not a big, that's not a big ordeal. It's really, you go around with a grease gun, it's like, looks like a big caulk gun and you basically have to grease the things.
Where are we disposing these weeds so that they don't
So,
continue to?
What would happen is that we would bring the weeds ashore, and if one way of doing it would just be dropping them there and then transporting them to that back parking lot and letting them dry. And then once they're dry, we would burn them.
Burn them?
Yes.
How do we have the capacity to do that?
Matching.
We can,
Fire extinguisher.
we can do that on ground here, I'm just saying, that's the plan, to burn them on the ground.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, as long as
you
they're
cannot
not
dispose of these in the brush pile because you would.
No, clearly.
Yes,
You don't want them
they would
transported.
they would need to be burned or taken off site somewhere else to be disposed of, so yeah, that's.
Fire.
Yes, I was just gonna say, you could use.
Jose,
it for an
you
events
remember?
committee.
What,
Guys, let me just get this.
one
checker.
thing just, I wanna bring back to the
Yes.
center. There is one other item we need to purchase if we are going to purchase this machine, so I would like you all to consider that.
Which is,
We need to purchase a piece of equipment that will clean this machine
Yes.
from lake to lake. So we need to purchase some type of a portable steam generating cleaner. It's
at a
frequently
cost of-
called a steam Jenny. It's about $2,500.
Right.
It's a steam pressure washer, different than a normal pressure washer. Because you have to disinfect and kill with high temperature steam,
Okay.
not just a regular pressure washer, just so you know.
wanna make sure you get your questions out, and then.
That,
Ben is hand up, Earl, I'm not sure, Leslie. did you
No,
agree?
go ahead, I'm gonna.
Joel, is that accurate?
So I'm gonna go to Dan, I recognize Dan, send his hand up, waiting patiently online.
Yeah, the year, what year is this machine?
I believe it's a 2013 or 14.
2013, Dan, it has 80 hours on it currently.
And what is the comp of purchasing a brand new one? Just,
New one's about 120,000.
And plus, the cost of, this is a big machine, it's like 14 feet and it's heavy. The cost of transporting it for where they make this thing here would probably be a lot of money.
no, just figuratively, I'm just trying to figure out in my mind, you know, what it.
Right.
So it doesn't sound like a bad deal, sounds like, you know, pretty good thing for us. I was gonna touch on the burning of it as well, but I guess we already got that figured out.
Earl,
Yeah, I just purely focus on the numbers make sense. We need it from a maintenance perspective because what we're dealing with now is gonna happen next year, or it's gonna happen the year after that. So we need to be proactive and start taking the long view approach. So I'm fair with that. I think we just probably need to make sure that it's less a sales conversation, it's more of a numbers. These are the numbers versus, to Dan's point, this is what the future cost would be if we were to purchase it outright brand new. I think the other thing of it is that I think Nick just mentioned there's an additional cost of $2,500 from a sanitation perspective, make sure that's a number. Maintenance, we're gonna need to make sure that there's insurance in place, so whoever's gonna be on that piece of equipment should be only the people who are insured to be on that piece of equipment. And then storage, where we're gonna need to store this a piece of equipment that's going to maintain, and that's gonna keep our lakes from where they are.
Store it up
Do
in
we
the.
have them to store?
Yeah, we have, and then there's a
So-
lot.
Okay, but hold, on. So does it need to be covered?
You could.
Oh, yeah, should be fine.
I can tell you right
There's
now.
one in White Lake,
The one in White Lake that you're
it's just a top over.
It's this machine.
That's the machine.
This is the machine.
Okay, and then trailer? Yeah, I assume.
It comes with a
It comes with a trailer. Okay. Okay.
And does it have to be winterized?
Yes.
Yes, it does have to be winterized.
Okay.
It's a gas machine. Now, the next point of the steam jetty, we should be doing that every year when the guys start bringing in their trailers, because we have no idea where a vendor.
But quite,
Yeah.
we just jumped topics.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, we gotta, I mean, cause I think we need to settle on
That's
moving
fine.
forward with this, because this is a critical decision that impacts everybody in this community.
You are.
Where would the money come?
I would love a motion clearly articulating what it is that we're.
Okay, so to answer your question is about $25,000 in the latest budget. We would also have to use some of, either use some of the dam money, or we can use, from the TNC fund.
But we're gonna need all the dam, money for the dam.
Right, so we would take it out of the TNC. And the TNC, I think, has about $120,000.
And the remainder of the funds from the TNC after the 25,000 would account for how much?
There's 197 in the TNC right now.
And we'd be accessing how much of that? And then we would need more, community approval for those.
We would access 25 from the lakes, and the balance would be from, from the TNC.
Currently in the lakes maintenance, we have 24,655.
Mhm.
Okay.
And just to clarify, we had already previously approved the 25,000, so
Correct.
that is just going towards the purchase.
Yes.
And the initial run through of this, which allows us to purchase the equipment at the end, and any additional monies we need come from the TNC.
Correct.
Just make a point of order, the board previously approved the labor doing, if we're gonna make, if the motion is gonna be, depending on what the motion is that goes on the floor, if the motion is purely to purchase the equipment, then that 25,000 is negated, that approval is negated.
I would say let's keep that 25,000.
There needs to be a motion on the floor so we can move the business forward.
Got it. Okay, so I'm gonna propose the motion that we approve the purchase of this machine, this particular machine at a purchase price of $55,000. I'm also going to say that we should be able to continue with the original $25,000 that we budgeted to clean up the weeds, to start with Davies, and basically what will happen is any money that we lay out there, $1,000 a day will go towards the reducing of the purchase price.
So you need 2,500 for the 2,500 for the steam machine, and then another 5,000 based on the $30,000 estimate.
Yes.
So so the total motion should be for 62.5.
Okay.
Right.
Do we have the 2,500 there for the cleaning?
That's,
By the steam pressure?
That would be in repair, it would be in maintenance, it wouldn't be.
We can't get taken for maintenance and repairs. If we're gonna buy this piece of equipment, it should all come from one, because you're gonna put this out for a vote. It should all be one package.
So we need 55.
Well, it's not, but you gotta pull down, cause if we go ahead and it's a kind of variable, so I would say let's do it up to $65,000.
That's fair.
All right, because what's gonna happen?
The purchase it at the 55,000 and then everything else we move on from?
Say again, Dan, I'm sorry.
You just make a simple motion to purchase it at the 55,000 and then everything,
Well, go ahead, I'm sorry.
and then everything else we'll just figure out as we go. But let's just, that simple motion, because that's what's going on for the homeowner.
Well, so I would say the simple motion is that we purchase this machine for 55,000. We also allocate another 25,000. 2,500 for the genie, and we also approve money with keep the 25,000 out there to do the cleanup.
To go towards the.
So, my statement is, we're making this very confusing to the folks who are listening. No, I've listened. We need to purchase a piece of equipment.
Yes.
It's non-negotiable. We need to purchase the sanitation equipment that supports that piece of equipment.
Right.
Can we purely focus on that? That's what Dan is saying. And let's not, because when we say all these other things for people who are listening online, for the people that are in the room, it's a lot of moving parts. We need to be very clear, concise, and easy to be understood. So there's no question that this makes sense. When we add all the other moving parts, it doesn't make
Okay,
sense.
so let me ask this for the 25,000 that we approved last month. We didn't go to the community for that, so we can keep that 25,000 out there.
Because it came from the operating budget.
Can
Can we just make a motion
We're trying.
to purchase the machines to maintain the lakes up to spend up to 65,000.
Yes, to include the machine,
Right.
the steam cleaner and any excess labor required to finish that.
Okay,
Yeah, perfect, I like that motion, that's perfect, thank you. Thank you.
Joel, you're talking yourself out of this.
So Leslie having made the motion, so second.
So,
Great.
thank you.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other question?
From the
debate?
TNC, clarify.
Sorry?
From the TNC,
To
Well,
clarify.
George, motion, second, right?
The whole thing from the team?
from 65 up to 65,000 from the TNC.
Yes.
Yes, Joel said for the machine, the steam jenny, and
It's gonna
additional
come down.
labor,
It's a max,
up
it's
to.
a max. We
Yeah.
have to-
Was.
Right.
To clarify the funding, the 65 is not coming solely from the DNC, it's coming from 25,000 from the,
No, leaving that alone.
why?
Because
We're leaving that alone just to get this thing going. No, it's a lot, it's 55 for the machine, right?
from TNC.
Plus up to 30 to hire him to do the work, right? We already have that approved. That's what I'm saying, Joel. So we budgeted 25, we're looking at labor costs of up to 30, so throw in another 5 to cover the difference. Plus 2,500 for the steam cleaning machine, that gets us to 62.5, and 2,500 to cover any other ancillary costs.
I think we should.
Okay.
Okay, just because we're spending money and I want to be clear,
Has that clarified?
no,
Okay, so
because I want to know that that money is coming off the top and not coming all out of TNC.
somebody.
I just want to clarify.
Should,
Go ahead.
so the purchase price for the machine is 55,000.
Yes,
We need about 30,000 to do the work, to hire him to do the work. Just be stoked for a moment. $30,000 to do the work, and we need $2,500 to purchase the steam cleaner. That puts us at 82.5. Just hold on.
I'm not following you there.
We already approved 25 to do the work.
Yes.
So take 25 off of 82.5. Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right, let
I
me do it.
agree, no, I agree with what you just said, but what I heard from Joel initially was that this man was doing an in-kind with us, that $25,000, he was going to give
Take off
back,
the
take off the
price
top of the
purchase
purchase
price.
price, and I wanna clarify that
Yeah.
statement.
Not 25,000, it would be $1,000 a day
A day.
Per day.
per day.
So if it,
It could be more.
ideally, if it takes them $30,000 worth of labor, that's what's coming off of the purchase
No.
price.
They're using
Oh.
labor,
Right.
the $30,000,
Okay, I
And
didn't
Dan,
understand that.
Dan has his hand up and then I want to call the question.
you're getting late, the 30,000 has.
Hold on, Joel. Dan has the floor, guys. Dan has the floor. Go, Dan.
No.
No,
What?
Yo, you gotta be quiet.
Girl, stop.
Guys,
Stop,
please,
I don't need to
please,
be
Go on,
insulted.
Dan, go.
please,
You don't need to be insulted.
gents. Dan has the floor. Dan, please.
Jesus.
We're purchasing the equipment so we can save on the expense of the payroll of having the guy do it, correct? So the previously approved money doesn't really apply to this. We're buying the equipment. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So why can't we just be simple with it? The board is approving or motioning to approve the purchase price of $55,000 for the piece of equipment. In addition, we're motioning to approve a steam jenny of up to $2,500 to go with it to keep the machine clean, and then any labor associated with it. And then whatever 25,000, how much work did he do already?
None.
So that money doesn't really matter at this point, so we'll figure it out as it goes, but I think it should all come from the TNC so we can figure out what we're gonna do, because we approve money for a labor and we're not applying the labor.
Guys, I'm gonna call the question and I'm gonna ask the secretary to read the motion as it currently stands and has been seconded. We gotta move along, guys.
Yep, go ahead.
The motion, as I understand it on the floor, is for the board to approve, for the members' approval, a purchase of equipment of up to 65,000, not to exceed $65,000 to be drawn entirely from the TNC. That motion was made by Joel and seconded by Leslie.
Reverse.
Okay.
She,
Made by Leslie, seconded by Joel. Okay, great. With that, all in favor?
you wanna do a roll?
Yeah.
call?
Okay, roll call having been requested, ask the secretary to call roll.
Patrick,
Yes.
Alana,
go back to me, please, I'm just thinking through.
Earl. Yes. Joel. Yes. I abstain. Alex.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Very strange.
Like,
Yes.
so much money in one day.
Dan.
Dan,
You need to come up here.
Roll call, Dan. I think he said yes.
he said yes.
I need to hear it.
Dan, you're on mute.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. All right, Alana, you're up.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Fantastic.
Thank
All
you.
right. Anything else, Nick?
Did you go back to Alana?
Yes.
It is. Nick, anything else, or can we move on?
I have nothing.
All right, we're gonna move on to our financial review. We're up to a whopping item D now at 10:02. We're gonna review the June 2025 financials, tab 5 of your board members.
So, thank you. So we have currently in the fund reserve in total, we have a total of $845,000 rounded. We're gonna be moving another $5,000 into that bucket for this month. So when that happens, the balance will be $849,858. That's a good thing there. Regarding the accounts receivable,
Guys,
our accounts receivable have gone up a little bit by about 16,000, but the good news is that we've collected almost 84% of the buildings that went out for the construction of everything, so that's very good. Additional other good news, we had on our book $63,818 for a tax lien that we were getting back from the town. I've gotten that money back, and it's our found money to us, so thank you, Marvin, and Nick for doing that. What else do we got? There's a few reclasses that have to be done. Also we brought this motion up before. There's a bill on the accounts payable for about $11,000 to $12,000 for DNC construction. We have no intention of paying that bill. We have other issues with him. I'd like to get that removed from the accounts payable. We're never gonna pay for that. So Nick, if you wanna add a little more into that, because you're familiar with that, I am, so.
There's an outstanding bill, for that was not completed here in the construction for the entertainment and the pool buildings. And it's just in the open accounts payable. We're gonna ask the accounts to write that off. Additionally, just to, as a footnote, Joel and I have discussed, there are items in the undeposited funds that we are going to write off with a journal entry. I spoke to Joel and Alana regarding this subject maybe about a week or so ago. These were fun, we had a conversation, I don't know if you remember specifically, we had a conversation, there were funds going back to 2020 even.
Oh, I wouldn't call that a formal
It
conversation.
wasn't formal, we had an informal conversation.
In passing, yes.
But there were some funds that are still showing up in our undeposited, Joel is very familiar about this, there's some undeposited funds in there that need to be written down and written off and journal entered out of our books, so we're gonna clean up those as well in the process of writing off this accounts payable item, so.
Do you have an amount of those?
It's less than $4,000 in total, and there's also some for the water company that are outstanding that Dan is aware of, so we're just gonna again clean those items up from prior management.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Yeah, any other questions for Joel on the financials? Dan?
A quick question. How close are we to getting the financials or the accountant to work on a quarterly basis? I noticed that we continue to run.
This is gonna be the last month, and from here going forward, we're gonna do it on a quarterly basis.
We are going to do it in-house,
Yes.
quarterly, right?
No, what's gonna happen, we're gonna do it on a monthly basis, the accountant will just come in on a quarterly basis.
Quarters, okay.
June is the end of the last quarter, so.
Right.
So starting July,
Correct.
okay.
I raised this last month. Can we get quotes from other accounting firms to handle the audits? And continue to believe there's gotta be better, more competitive pricing.
Well, on the audit pricing, it's a combination.
I understand.
Audit company and the.
Pound for pound, just to propose, I just wanna make sure we're not over. If we're not, great, but
Additionally, on Thursday, 69 letters went out to individuals that were delinquent to the POA, current homeowners that were delinquent to the POA more than $700, which basically equates to the assessment. So those letters went out, and we actually started getting some responses Friday, and I see that some payments actually were made yesterday as well electronically. So the letter must have reached them, and they are complying and making sure that they are cleaning up their accounts. So we're continuing to monitor that as well.
Okay, any other questions for Joel? Need to approve the financials.
I make a motion to approve the financials. Any second?
Second.
Good.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any recusals? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that motion passes. All right.
We need a motion to write off the 11,000 if we just do that as. Well,
Just as part of your procedures. Okay. Dan, water company update.
All right, so Wednesday we did our water company meeting, brought all the water users up to speed on where we're at with the current project. On July 8th, myself and Nick had a conference with representatives from New York State Public Service Commission. We discussed next steps relating to the project. More specifically, we discussed debt service payments and the bonding process and the PSC requirements for the bonding process. We also discussed capital fees or restructure to the capital fees. I keep hearing a different date every time that we talk, but it ranges anywhere from 15 to 24 years is how long these current capital fees have been in place. So we're looking to get those updated to make sure that they're more accurate to what it costs to do the mains and everything else when adding a new user to the system. We also heard from the PSC, they agreed that there does need to be an update to bring that to the current run rate of what we're seeing. Next steps as that goes, we are waiting on some reports from the Public Service Commission, and then we're going to work on a petition seeking debt service relief for the capital project. We have, as we all are aware, we do still have two quotes from one from Whitcon and one from TAM, anywhere from 2.6 million to 3.1 million for the full project, phase 1, 2, and 3. The Department of Health has signed off on our engineers' reports and everything that go along with that. The only thing we would need to do is reapply for a new variance and update the building permits. So that's good with that. The other part we talked about with the commission was my original idea of in favor of absolving some of the water company's debt is transferring ownership of the red house to the POA to release those debts that are owed. Public Service Commission, you know, in theory did agree that it does sound like something that we can work towards, but right now we're just waiting on their confirmed approvals, and then we could bring both boards together to determine what that looks like and, you know, what we all can agree on. And then that's pretty much it for where we're at.
Thanks, Dan. Just to add a little flavor on that, or color, as it were, to the red house situation, I just really want to socialize that for the community as well. The thought is we've got about, what is it, $460,000 debt that's owed from the water company to the POA for funds that were loaned some time ago. I don't know when, but that doesn't matter. And so in satisfaction of that debt, the POA would, not quite sure how to, we're working out the exact structure of what it might look like, but basically would put up for sale that red house after presumably deeding it into the POA, both to protect it, also to generate more use, and that the proceeds from the sale would satisfy that debt. So it's.
Would the house be part of the POA?
I mean, that I think is kind of the thinking, that once it gets deeded over, it would be part of the POA, again, just to make sure that it doesn't become a development site. That we're.
Okay.
My My original thinking to this was, obviously to satisfy the debt, and then I would personally be in favor of, incorporating the Red House into the POA, as a member. But, you know, that's still to be decided.
Right.
Again, this is something that, you know, I kind of put out there and put some feelers out there and talked it over with some of the board and Nick, and then the Public Service Commission. So it's still in the early phases of discussion. Once we have, the PSC obviously is the governing person or agency here. So we want to make sure that they're good with it because we're removing a fixed asset from our balance sheet. So if they're good with it, we can.
Yeah.
We can.
It's kind of the definition of a win-win, but, you know, I know some board members have heard about this idea a little bit. I've heard nothing but, support, but, I've asked Dan, and Dan and I are now just introducing this idea publicly for folks so that, we're bringing it out into the open, okay?
I have a question. That house is gonna is worth $420,000.
We don't know yet, but we know it's assessed. Its tax assessed value is around 420 something. Okay, so any questions for Dan from board members?
Yeah, Dan, can we get forwarded financials? I don't think we've seen financials in that.
Yeah, I'll forward that to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, any other questions for Dan? Hearing none, let's go on to the committee reports. Late's had no meeting.
We don't have a meeting, but I want to basically put out a shout out and big thank you. He's here, Anthony. Thank you for that ramp. It really helped us out a lot. And we met on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And by Sunday, by 10, 11 o'clock, that ramp was installed. And the person that is very happy about it. So thank you for all this work. And also said Fisher coming on Wednesday. So that'll be a good thing. And that's it for the leaks.
Okay.
Forward, we didn't have a meeting.
Okay, there was no meeting of the bylaws committee, or our budget and AR. Earl, I think,
I have no
oversight meeting.
Yeah, there's nothing.
We didn't do strategic planning and finance either. Events and welcoming?
Yes, Nick, you're sending out the email for the next meeting?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
We did drum roll yesterday.
Yes.
And the rest.
So, there's gonna be an upcoming meeting this Wednesday at 7 o'clock, via Zoom, just to go over some upcoming things before that meeting happens. And if you're not part of events right now, you're certainly welcome to attend. The agenda will be on the notice, but we'll cover any events planned through August and the beginning of fall, the early end of fall. The yard sale ends today. I appreciate everybody posting on Facebook. There seems to be a lot of community involvement of kids making lemonade stands and things like that in addition to the yard sales. So a lot of lemonade and a lot of other sales within a very nice event. This coming Friday is an exciting new event called Drum One, Drum All. Many of you may not know this, but we have a very well-known percussionist in our community. Is one of our neighbors. Sherry Johnson is bringing in some of his fellow percussionists, Gary Fritz and Domo Joe. I hope I pronounced that right. It will be a family-based event over by the pool Friday at 7:30. S'mores will be provided as well. You will learn to drum, you will listen to drumming, you will be able to participate in it. There's going to be steel pan drums and other drums available for you. It will be a lovely event, and we have a really lovely community member who is providing his expertise to share with the community. Lee Vogel is having her annual tennis tournament on Sunday, August 3rd. Notices about this will all come out shortly too at 8:30 a.m. The cabaret is scheduled for Friday, August 8th from 6:30 to 8:30. There's going to be a 4-piece band with Jenna Esposito, also open to everyone, family, friends, under the pavilion. Lee's pickleball tournament is scheduled for August 10th at 9 a.m. And as of last week, trivia, which happens every other Monday night, is becoming very popular, and we are probably going to have to move out of the second floor of the West Wing into the clubhouse to accommodate the number of people who have been coming. So the upcoming trivia nights, July 28th, August 11th, and August 25th, will more than likely, I think it's okay with Nick, yes, to move to the clubhouse. So expect a notice on that. Yoga was trialed outside last week, so I heard, and went really well, 30 to 40 participants. I don't know, is it continuing outside or that was just a trial?
It was a trial. It's gonna go back inside, but it's always an option if we need to do anything in the clubhouse.
I heard good things about that. So if you are interested and would like to volunteer to make another event, we always need volunteers. not just suggestions, but people who are willing to come and work events. Please come to the meeting on Wednesday. We are open to all, either for the end of the summer until Labor Day, as well as the fall. See you then, right?
Also, just one touch on, touch a truck.
Oh, yes,
Thank
yes,
Beverly.
yes.
Thank you, Beverly.
That was awesome. Yes, yes.
Somebody during the Touch a Truck event asked if we could do on that big white wall, a movie screen night.
Yes, that has
So-
come up before
It's
sometimes.
painted, I think it's painted.
We've done,
Yeah. So if there's a projector.
When you guys had the projector, we used to do it all the time when I did the touch the trucks back then. And I would use the wall, put a movie night, and that was big, we would have children.
Yeah, they
acting
asked for that, if we could do that
And
again.
popcorn and things like that.
yeah,
And so
okay.
we used to own the popcorn machine, I don't know if you guys still have
I
it.
think there is one upstairs in the attic.
Okay, we will, I'm gonna put that in the, for the
We
Wednesday.
we have an attic, you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's an attic up here. We've been looking, I actually looked at a blow up screen, cause I had an idea of putting one on the beach and watching Jaws in the water, but that's a.
I think
The next year.
That I did.
Mark's got it at the house. Hold on.
Board member questions for Alana. Dan, your hands up.
Hey, what's the possibility of getting like a pumpkin painting thing going on in Halloween-ish?
Last year, Dan, you had volunteered to run an event and Jose was, willing and ready to run that with you, but it never, I don't believe it came to fruition. So if you wanna go ahead and volunteer to work that out, happy to get it if you wanna come on Wednesday. To put out the logistics out there. In the past, the Halloween stuff has not gone over well because people kind of go, we have the trick or treating map that goes out and people are usually elsewhere. But if you want to run something, come to the meeting Wednesday, happy to put you as a spearhead for that.
I just want to, I have a beautiful professional projector, if you guys need it, you can use it for that. If you don't have it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Alright.
Okay.
I've got the 16-foot blow up screen that you can also use.
Who's that? Mark?
Mark Canton.
All right, Mark, I'm gonna be reaching out to you, thank you.
Any other board member questions for Alana? Hearing none? All right, our next meeting, is our annual meeting, August 17th. At 9 AM, it'll be both our annual meeting and director election. It looks like we're gonna have two, capital items to vote on as well. And then we'll have our regular board meeting to follow. Thank the members for coming. We're gonna move into executive session. Actually, can I get a motion?
Yes, make a motion.
Need a second? I'll second. Okay, right, okay. Thank you. Folks online, if you'll, except for board members.
Jose?
Alex. All right.
How are you?
Folks. Actually.